This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, I'm proud to say I am a COVID-19 survivor, bro. I did my 2 weeks, my quarantine. I feel good. I actually was doing this show 2 weeks ago, literally I was in prime COVID, that show, man. That was the COVID-19 show for me. I was in a half days that whole show, man. And we went into overtime too. So
well, that was the day that Coley announced she was resigning, right? So we had to do it. I mean, you had to push through, and you did, like the champion you are, Rob. Like, dude, the champion you are. You gave it the old Statue of Liberty fist pump, and yeah, you powered through as you always do. So we appreciate it for the people.
Yeah,
welcome. It's another Wednesday. We took last Wednesday off. You were doing some traveling, so after you got over COVID, you decided to go to the COVID hotbed of Florida.
I did, and here's the thing: is like I had the trip planned too for.
Good luck this weekend, Hoss. Kyle Troop checking in. Good luck this weekend, Hoss.
Yeah, we're going to get into some analysis, Kyle. So he's bowling our region with our boy Bill. So, we're going to have to talk a little bit about that. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But we got to get into some quick stuff here. So I had to go to a wedding reception in Disney, Orlando. And I was probably about 10 or 11 days out from COVID. So I felt good. And, I ended up at downtown Disney for 3 days and ended up at Splitsville, Mike, bowling, of course, right? Got the alley ball, the alley shoes, was like 4 or 5 drinks in me. But shout outs to Tyler Chatham, who's, a pretty good bowler in his own right. Guessed my game 1 score. He was only 2 pins off at a 158. So you want to talk about bowling being hard, Mike? Dude, go to Splitsville and bowl with an alley ball and house shoes. And let me tell you, man, bowling is not easy on that shit when you're bowling in a conventional, like an average, random Joe walking off the street. Anyway, so that was I had a great trip. I'm still tired. I'm glad to be home, feeling better. But we got to get into your league real quick because you started telling me a story last night about your league and you cut it off because you're like,
well, let's be clear that I don't get done bowling league until almost 11 p.m. So you're the only person in my phone, other than my cousin who does not want to hear about bowling, who lives in California. You're really the only person in my phone that I could legitimately call and discuss a league bowling session with. And it is the night before our show, so I often use it as an opportunity to just knock out that phone call and just get have a conversation about the show. What are we doing tomorrow? Oh, here's how I bowled league, etc. And yes, I did start to tell you the story of my league experience last night. This story is going to be a little bit, but bear with me. So I told you guys a few weeks back that one of the guys, and I'm going to call him Mr. X. Okay,
Mr. X.
Call him Mr. X. All right, okay. Mr. X was on our team for the first half. Okay. He quit while we were in 4th place. I didn't really communicate with him directly, so I didn't really know exactly why he quit, but he quit while we were in 4th place. And, I was honest with people when they asked me, oh, what happened to Mr. X? I said, oh, Mr. X quit. I don't know. He didn't want to bowl. So we brought in somebody else. Okay. Lo and behold, as I revealed, I think 2 weeks ago, Mr. X is now coming back in the league with a different team. Okay. Yes. Yeah. He's coming back in the league with a different team. Well, last night was Mr. X's new team's first night of bowling. Okay. And lo and behold, who are they scheduled to bowl? But us, but my team. So first night that Mr. X comes back in the league, we're gonna bowl his team, and he's gonna bowl. Mr. X himself is gonna bowl in the anchor spot where I bowl. So on top of this, yo, this is the worst league season ever, son. You don't even
I
understand.
love it, but we're here for every word of it.
Okay, on top of this, the guy who Mr. X got to replace him, who's our former league teammate who we bowled with for a lot in his life right now, he could not make it last night. Okay. So we had two choices of guys to sub from. Right? We could either get I'm gonna say Mr. J or Mr. A. Okay, we had Mr. J or Mr. A. Well, we chose to go with Mr. A. All right, just because my league teammate was like, you know what, I know Mr. A, I bowl with him already. We'll just get him. I said, okay. So we show up to bowl league. We're down a man. We're bowling the guy's team who quit our team. Okay. And come to find out that the team we're bowling, they have Mr. J subbing. The other guy who we could have got to sub for us is subbing for them. Okay. Mr. J comes out the first game, the guy subbing for them. He bowls possibly the worst 220 I've ever seen in my life. Okay. I think there were 3 crossovers, a couple trip 5-7s. It was ugly. Okay. He then proceeds over the next 2 games to execute pretty well and repeat pretty well what he was doing, and shoots 258, 240, I believe. The last 2. Shot like 730, 720 or 730 at us.
Okay.
Okay. Needless to say, we made the wrong choice of subs to pick. Okay. The entire night, Mr. X is out of his mind. Like, just, saying things that I know are directed at me, etc. We lost. We lost the night because we all bowled bad. We won the last game, but still was a 7-2 night. And although in my opinion, I completely outbowled Mr. X, he did beat me by 10 pins in series. I had numerous 9 counts. I actually missed 3 makeable spares. I shot 560 last night, 560. So minus 40 for the 3. I went 160, 170, 230. I shot 230 the last game, and I actually opened in the last game. I opened the 10th of the second game where I shot 170. I actually had a double, left a ring 10 in the 10th, and missed it in the second game. So that was a huge swing for me, I felt like. But on top of all that, as if all of that is not frustrating enough, there was an observer there last night. There was an observer there watching our league who, for whatever reason, wanted to engage me in a conversation that we're just not going to see eye to eye on and not going to agree on. This person was trying to tell me the lanes were easy. They're trying to tell me that if you're a good bowler, you can dictate ball reaction, and you should be able to dictate what the ball does. The pattern shouldn't matter. What the lane shouldn't matter. You should be able to dictate it. Just things that I'm generally not going to agree with. So I had to sit there.
How old was this guy? Is this guy probably was?
No, he's a little bit older than us, I believe. And okay. You know what? And listen, I'm going to say very, very good bowler. Very.
Was it Pelusic?
No.
Was it Pelusic?
Very accomplished bowler as well. But yeah, just Rob, listen, we all have our own philosophies about bowling, right? And we all think that our philosophies are generally correct, or the way we look at things. And at times you meet people whose philosophies are very different than yours might be, and you're just you're not, especially somebody like me or you who's been in the game for a long time. You're not going to change our opinion about how we feel in something bowling related. Right. So, yeah, then I had to engage in a conversation that was basically turning into an argument while I had all this other stuff going on. And I'm trying to concentrate on bowling. And needless to say, it was just a very frustrating league night.
Well, we always appreciate your league reviews because I feel like a lot of people relate to your league reviews. But this whole thing with people quitting and coming back, I mean, this is a stereotypical East Coast league because this shit happens all the time in East Coast league. This is like this is normal for an East Coast league.
Drama,
the drama and the chaos.
drama.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not
got
about
some
the drama.
Got some people in the chat here want to kind of pull us off. Scott Farley, good to see you. Mike, you better have kicked his ex ass. He did, and he lost by 10.
I lost by 10. Oh my god.
Kevin
Scott,
Tade,
if you only knew.
love these league reviews better than worst of the week. Changed my minds.
Oh,
John Stevenson, great fries at Splitsville. I wish I would have known. I would have got some fries. He wants to. Eddie Grumman wants you to bring him on the show, Professor X or whatever his name was.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
We should.
I'll see. I'll see if I can make it happen.
And then, John Willett, what's up, fellas? Finally catching a live show, man.
John,
welcome. We got Anthony, my old ex-coworker. What's up, Anthony, man? Good to see you. Hope all's well. Anthony Battaglia, Mike, you need a lefty sub to beat X.
Listen, Anthony, I'm not gonna. So, Rob, Anthony is one of the guys who actually came out and joined me to practice at Nob Hill. He tunes into the podcast, and he came out. We had a little practice session one week. Let me say, he throws it pretty good. Has some college bowling experience, etc. Anthony, your name came up this week, and I told the guy that I bowl with, I'm like, I tried to get this lefty kid who I practice with to come and join our team, but yeah, he works on Tuesdays. He works late, so like I said, if that changes, let me know.
The real life bowling league stories featuring Big Mike coming to Netflix. Yeah, I'm sure that would get a lot of people would tune in for that. I'm sure that would be a top 10. I'm sure that'd be a top 10 documentary in the United States.
Wait a second. Is this the Gabe Ferrari? Is this the Gabe Ferrari I know? Is this the Gabe Ferrari from New Jersey, from St. Peter's College back in the day?
Dude, first off, anybody named Gabe Ferrari is from New Jersey. Okay, that's a given.
So?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know any Gabe Ferraris in Arizona.
Chris says a second Rosenbag would have gotten you those 10 pins. Chris, listen, you want to know something? I forgot my sweep the rack Rosenbag in the car last night, and I didn't go get it. That's probably what it was. It's probably what it was, man. You know.
Anyway, Gabe, your boy is SPC.
No, I can't, Scott. Because it's complicated. But
he wants you to call him out.
Yeah,
action time.
He
call
wants
out
to call him out for
observer.
action. And yeah, I can't do that. So
anyway,
all good.
All right.
Well, I appreciate the suggestion. All right, enough of my league nonsense. Mike. Let's talk bowling. Rob, somewhat, I mean, not surprising news, but big news that we want to congratulate the person on here on Sweep the Rack. And that news was that Wes Malott is going to be inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. Yeah,
Wes is a great guy, great bowler. I had the privilege of actually crossing with Wes Malott at the World Series of Bowling for 5 days. So funny, quick stories about Wes Malott that I could share with people. I was beating Wes on one of the days on one of the animal patterns. Was going into the last 2 games. So I was on the pair and I started talking some shit, Mike, to Wes. I was like, yo, I'm beating you, right? And he's like, oh, you want to put some money on the last 2 games? I said, absolutely, dude. I'm bowling well right now. So I bet him $20 on like a 2-game total for the last 2 games. Wes ran me over.
Your fault.
Dude, I had to give him my $20, man. He still has my $20. I never got a chance to get my 20 back. So maybe, one day I run into Wes again. I'll try to get my 20 back. I'll end up probably giving him another 20. But Wes, I don't think anybody realizes, and I'm sure everybody does realize, obviously, this guy's a PBA Hall of Famer. But like, he's so good. I mean, he is like really good. When I crossed with him, he was playing 2 arrows left of me, throwing the ball 2 arrows right of me. And literally, I'm talking arrows, Mike. I'm not talking boards. And was out averaging me by he was beating me by 300-400 pins each day, except for I think one of the days where I bowled actually pretty well. What he could do to his ball, he is one of those type of bowlers that could get the ball down like 45 to 50 feet down the lane without the ball ever reading. Like the way his release was and how physically he threw it, his ball would never read the first 40 feet of the lane, honestly. Like it's incredible to be able to cross with him and see how good he was. And his carry was always just so great because of that. It just made him who he was. And I really believe that he would have stayed, as good as he was in Bowl of the Year contention if he never really got hurt and he had some knee injury. I know he dealt with for a couple years. I know his kids, we end up having a lot of baseball, and he has some pro shops. So, he kind of fell out of that, like bowling for like a living and just really like focused, I think, after that. But dude, congrats to Wes, man. I got a privilege to stay with him in the house during the World Series of Bowling. I actually, was giving him rides every day. I got a chance to know Wes, and great guy, amazing bowler, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. So congrats, Wes, on being inducted to the PBA Hall of Fame on a unanimous decision, Mike, a unanimous vote.
Oh, should be, no question. I mean, for like 2007, 2008, 2009, he was undoubtedly one of the more dominant players out on tour. There's no question about that. When I think of Wes Malott, I think of the gold IQ. I think of that ball because I think it seemed to always bowl well with that ball and win with that ball.
You know what I thought of? The bully, because he was in that ad where he was like, when he was with Columbia, it was
Right.
just like they made him to be like this real like tough guy. Like they tried to make him this real tough guy image, the big nasty, but he's like the nicest guy and he's the most low key like guy. So like that persona really didn't fit him. He was just a big guy, but in reality wasn't, didn't have that like bully personality,
Yeah, and Jim Ward in the chat just took my other comment. The other thing that I think about is the cell, the other ball. I mean,
that's when he won Bowl of the Year.
them.
Yeah,
he crushed them with that
cell.
ball. So it's funny that like you as a bowling fan, I feel like you associate certain players with certain bowling balls to a degree. So yeah, for me, there's like a strong association between Wes Malott and those two particular bowling balls. But as I said, listen, congratulations to him. Tremendous honor. Totally deserved, unanimous vote as it should be. And, great seeing him going. One thought I had, Rob, in terms of the, Wes getting inducted, I believe he's the only player getting inducted this year. Right. So, kind of go, it's going to slow down a little bit, isn't it, over this next few years, where there's not going to be as many guys traditionally as have been eligible for an honor like that. So, it's cool though, because he's going to get the stage all to himself. Right. So, really, really awesome honor for him, and congratulations. All right, Rob, moving on. There's a lot of bowling to analyze, Rob.
Finally, God, it's been a while. It's back. Finally, we get to talk a major, Mike. Starting off the season with a bang, and 5 regions.
It was hyped up. Let's be honest, Rob. It was hyped up to start off with a bang. Okay, there was much hype and anticipation in terms of the PBA season starting and these regional qualifiers for the Players Championship going on. But I got to be honest, Rob. Like, it kind of got out to a sputter, and I think you know what I'm talking about here.
Okay, so let's talk, because I know this is a kind of a topic of conversation that's been back and forth on Twitter. I know I've been back and forth on Twitter. You've been back and forth on Twitter. I know you had a little back and forth with Mike J. Laneside on some stuff. But okay, first off, 5 regions, right? So let's break it down for the people. Flow Bowling covering 5 regions on the same weekend, right? All across the country. East region, South region, Midwest region, Southwest region, West region. Now, this is a hard tournament for Flow Bowling to cover. Okay, logistically it is, because essentially you have to have enough staff, commentators, if you want to go that route, cameras, people running, right? These like essentially streaming shows, and you have to either go all in on all of the regions or pick maybe one or two regions to go all in. But they decided that they were going to, what, Mike, put one camera at each region. Each camera was covering, what, 2 pairs of lanes. The cameras weren't moving, right? They were stationary. Mike, was there one commentator that was trying to commentate all of the regions? Or how, I mean,
Yeah, so there was the flow zone where they had commentary, and that was showing like highlights, basically the best pair from whatever region was bowling at that time. But yeah, listen, I mean, it wasn't good enough. That's the bottom line to me. This is a paid subscription service. This is a company that the PBA has made a partnership with. Okay, and for the hardcore fans who pay the subscription to have the hype build up of, hey, this major event is taking place over the weekend, these qualifying rounds, and then to really be limited in how much of that you could watch in all of these situations is quite frustrating, right? It really is. It's quite frustrating. Personally,
so
Rob, I think it says two things. Number one, I think that Flo's coverage this weekend clearly tells us that they have not gotten the subscriptions that they need from the bowling community, to continue to invest and improve in the product that we were getting. Okay, I'll say that. I don't know what the numbers are. I have no idea, but I would imagine that if they were getting more subscriptions, or if subscriptions had grown and people were jumping on with Flow and Flow Bowling, that they would be providing better content, or putting more into it. The second thing that it says to me is that Flow is kind of done. Flow is
we
done.
already talked about
PBA,
that.
and we did.
Talked
And
about that for
I
months.
think this was a clear indication, though, to me. This was a clear indication that it was like, you know what, they're kind of just doing this just to do it, just to do the minimum and say, hey, we did this. We covered it. It was.
So here's my question, Mike.
It was kind of ridiculous to have to watch a pair with some of these competitors who really were not competitive, and it ruined the experience for me. Like, I really didn't watch all that much, to be honest with you. And then, Rob, I want to let you jump in here, but I want to make one more point. It wasn't just about Flow. Okay, let's be honest. It's also about the trash website that the PBA has, and the fact that we can't even get listed scores for all the regions. This major tournament's going on, qualifying all over the place. Shouldn't all the regions be on the main page? Here's the scores right here. Here's who's. You should be able to go to the main page and see who's in the top 5 in each region with one look, one little scroll down the page. Can't do it. What is going on? Now, I did some background. I did some questioning about this, and I will say that the PBA website is the responsibility of Bolero and Bolero's IT department. So to me, that's who's dropping the ball here and just not getting it done. And if we think for a second that the people involved in the PBA don't understand that these are easy things to do that the fans are going to want to see, guys, you're wrong. They understand that. So clearly there's some kind of miscommunication here, a lack of communication. But to have to go in and click 6 times to get to one regional score list and then back page and another one. It's just trash. Go ahead, Rob.
Mike, first off, a few things. So, coming from someone who develops websites and has experience doing it, by the way, shameless plug, visit www.sweeptherackbowling.com. You know how long it would take me to update a score sheet on a website? Mike, it takes you 30 seconds. 30 seconds. You take a picture of the score sheet, you upload it to the server, and it's there for people to see within a minute, Mike. So for them to not be putting this on their homepage is a tragedy that you can't even get game by game scores. Okay. My other point to your point. It's kind of a case of like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because if they're not getting the subscriptions, then they're not going to reinvest into Flow Bowling. But if they don't invest in Flow Bowling or the bowling, then they're not going to get the subscriptions.
Nah,
Okay.
you're wrong. I gotta say here though, you're wrong about that.
Well,
And here's
I'm saying that's my
okay,
point.
no,
Well,
but
listen. So
here's
let
why
me
I would say
finish.
that. Here's why I would say that. Hold on. They did invest early, from where they started to where it got to as a climax. Come on, Rob. They did documentaries. The
They did,
documentaries were pretty
which were
good.
good.
Lucas Wiseman was pumping out content on site that we weren't getting at any time before. So there was an incremental climb, right?
There
But
was.
yes, there has been a drastic
But
drop.
look, the investment, it needs to be in the actual streaming of the bowling. Okay. What I mean by that is, yes, this was a hard tournament for them to logistically handle. 5 tournaments at one weekend is a lot. Maybe they need to readjust the schedule and have maybe 3 regions on one weekend and 2 regions on another weekend, right? So maybe they could allocate the proper equipment and people to cover the regions. But and I've talked about this a lot. What really needs to happen is they need to really use Bolero's money investment back into a streaming platform, let alone if that's Flow Bowling, a partnership with Bowl TV, some other maybe streaming service, right? Where they could maybe invest money. And what really needs to happen, Mike, they need to be able to have us being able as fans to go on a streaming service and be able to watch our top pros bowl every game of qualifying. The pro of your choice, Mike, if I want to watch Bill O'Neill and I want to watch every qualifying game in all 28 games this past weekend, I should be able to sit in front of my TV for 2 days straight and watch every shot my man throws.
Sounds like heaven to me, honestly.
But like Belmo, right? People should be able to watch every shot that Belmo throws. People should be able to watch every shot that EJ Tackett throws, right? They need to reallocate and reinvest in the streaming platform and not some half-assed camera that looks like from the 1980s that is fuzzy and you can't see clearly. I'm talking like high-quality cameras. Bowl TV has great service when it comes to actually like visually, right? Like the graphics on the camera, they feel like are a lot better than Flow Bowling. But in reality, you should be able to watch every shot of your pro for every tournament. You should be able to, when match play comes around, you should be able to honestly like bet on some of these matches live, right? While you're watching. But that's a whole nother topic. But Bolero really needs to invest in A+ quality streaming service for the fans, honestly.
Or at least, you know what? Let's get in a room with Tom Clark and Chad, and let's figure out a way to make Bowl TV the home of bowling. Let's figure out a way to get the PBA on Bowl TV. A lot of people are saying that. I agree. Bowl TV does do a really good job. The USBC is kind of building something there with, the online content that they have and that they're producing around bowling. They have a lot of people that are doing good things there. Honestly, guys, I would love to see the PBA make a deal with Bowl TV and just make Bowl TV the home of bowling streaming. This is where you come for PBA, WPBA, youth bowling, college bowling. You want to watch bowling, you come to Bowl TV. Whatever they have to do to get that done, they should do it to get it done. Now, Rob, I like your idea of Bolero making that investment, but Rob, are you paying attention, my dude? They don't even give a care about the website. You think they're going to invest in the streaming aspect of what's going on here? That's not going to happen. So if we're going to get an investment in the streaming end of things, then it's going to have to come from some other entity. And let's be honest, Flow Bowling's not going to be it. That's what this showed. Can I say something about Flow though? Watch their other coverage of other sports. It's outstanding. It's outstanding. Okay. That's how I understand that they're not getting the subscriptions and the support from the bowling community that they thought they would get. And that's not surprising. I mean, can I be honest? A lot of the bowling community stinks because they don't support things related to the bowling community.
Yeah, but if Flow Bowling is putting out what they're putting out right now, why should we support Flow Bowling? Mike, should I renew my subscription?
We just talked about that. Like it reached a peak. It kept getting better. It started out really good compared to what we had before, and it kept getting better. And clearly, that didn't produce them selling subscribers.
Dude, this is what needs to happen. Kevin Tate,
Yeah,
right, would definitely consider
I
becoming a
know.
subscriber if all streaming was in one place. Absolutely. I would
Yeah, but
pay.
hold on. Patrick D saying Flow Wrestling is 10 times better in small sport. But Patrick, it's a small sport, but there's a ton of enthusiasm in the community of wrestling. People want to watch it. People want to subscribe. So that's why I'm saying about the bowling community, like there's not that same enthusiasm of support there.
Hey, Rob, man, forget that. Watch the show. Forget your shot, man. Don't worry about it.
Yo,
Don't worry. They'll
I
wait.
love
They'll
that
wait, dude.
multiple people in this league are watching our show. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they'll wait for you, Rob. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rob, it wasn't good. It's not a good sign. They better figure something out.
I'm
not going to lie to you. Listen, I represent the people on this podcast. Rob, I text some very high up people in the bowling community and told them that the PBA needs to axe Flow like immediately.
And what they say? What was the feedback on that?
Really can't be done.
No comments.
Really can't be done.
There's
Really can't be done.
There's contracts. There's all kinds of like God only knows like paper that's getting.
Yeah, but
getting,
it's gonna be a long season, in terms of trying to enjoy that. We should feel fortunate that the TV shows are going to be live and there's going to be a lot of TV shows to watch, because I think that if this is any indication that the online coverage is going to drop off. And you know what, Mike J, you want to come on this show and you want to have a debate with me about the quality of the coverage, you come right on, homie. You have an open invite to this show whenever you want. All right. You want to come on here and have a debate about it? Let's come on and have a debate.
Let's do it.
It's very telling. It's very telling. Some of these guys, just take a look at when they're not in the good folded with the PBA and when they are in the good folded with the PBA, and what their attitudes are about things. So, listen, I'm just calling a spade a spade. If that makes me negative, or, like John Burkett was involved in a conversation online with Walter Ray Williams, and I jumped in and there was some back and forth. And, one of the things they wanted to make sure of, well, honestly, Rob, they were complaining about the coverage. And I told them, yo, it seems like you guys would be fans of Sweep the Rack. That's what I told them. It seems like you guys.
Well, Walter, we know Walter is a fan.
I know we had him on.
Walter, right?
Listen, so like, the other point that I wanted to make to them is that, no, listen, I'm not bashing the PBA. This isn't bashing. It's calling a spade a spade. That's it. I mean, how
are things supposed to get changed?
Right. I'm a fan. This is what I saw. I'm calling it as I saw it. All right,
dude.
Rob,
how is stuff?
Can we actually talk about some bowling, please?
Yeah, but
please?
I want to talk about us people saying that we're complaining, because how are things supposed to change if people don't speak up about something that everybody knows is an issue, right? It's people pretending, or people being, well, what'd you call it one time? Toxic optimism, where everything is great.
Toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity, but you're not going to act like everything's great when most of the fans who have Flow Bowling subscriptions are, the ones saying like, hey, look, like this isn't like right. Like we need to improve a product that we pay for. The PBA and Flow and Bolero, they need to listen to their fans, and they need to listen to people like us who, want to see a better product. Honestly,
Brian, help us spread the word, bro.
We got more. We got a lot of people watching right now.
Yeah, we have a few more views than that. But listen, honestly, we're the views are irrelevant to us. We're here to talk about bowling. We're here to promote the bowling community, cover all things in bowling from the bowler's perspective. Brian, help us spread the word, bro.
Yo, if there was nobody in the chat room right now and we had zero, we'd still be talking to each other.
And get your rosin back. And get your rosin back. Worst of the week. Get your rosin back too. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk.
Let's talk some bowling, shows, please. Yes. All right. So,
all right, let's start, Mike. I could break it down.
I want to tell the people this. Behind the scenes, Rob and I are creating a new way for us to review every weekly PBA event from start to finish. Right, Rob?
Yeah, I guess we got nothing else to do in our lives.
All right, we're working out a way. Really, you guys are going to love it. We're working out a way to review things week to week. So because this tournament has a different format and it's done a little bit differently, we're going to wait until the actual big show is over to introduce this new format of reviewing the tournament. All right. So for right now, we're simply going to talk about the shows that are coming up this weekend, Rob. We're not going to talk about the qualifying much. We're not going to talk about the big show much. We'll put those off and wait for those. We're mainly just going to talk about the shows that are going to occur this weekend. Rob, they're supposed to be betting this weekend. I logged on to Fox Bet before we hit the air. No odds yet. No odds. So I don't know what's with that, but they're supposed to be betting. So I'm super excited about that. I'll be betting on bowling and NFL football this weekend. It's going to be an expensive weekend.
Hey, and we're planning on going live during the Players Top 5 show next weekend, correct?
We are. We're doing a live watch along for the final of this major. So if you guys want to watch the show with us, you can come and watch the show with us. I will have a spread. I will have a spread of snacks. Okay, I'll get them on camera. All right, bring your snacks.
I'm
bring
sure
your
everybody
drinks.
is looking forward to that.
Bring your craft brews if you want. All right, bring your hot leaf. Okay, if you feel me, and watch the show with us. All right, Rob. Let's start with the Eastern Regional. Let's start with the Eastern Regional. Our boy made the show. Boom.
He did.
COVID can't stop him, son. COVID can't stop him, son.
Yet.
You take him out of the show last year, he's back again. What do you want?
Not yet. So, excuse me. So, top 5. Patrick Dombrowski, 5th seed. Kyle Troop, 4th seed. Back-to-back Players Championship.
Defending champion. He's still alive.
Number 3, Bill O'Neill. Number 2, Brandon Runk. And number 1, Graham Foch or Foch. How would you say it? Foch?
I mean, I think it's Fa, though. But
Graham Focker. So, okay. So let's talk predictions because obviously, to me, hold on.
Nico's saying I'm jinxing Bill and it's something that happened next 4 days. Nico, let me say something. I have inside info that we're good.
Oh yeah, okay.
I can't. Rob, I have inside info that we're good. I could be confident in that. All right. I don't think there's a jinx.
Well, he's had it already. I think he's fine.
Listen, we're all right. So Rob, go ahead.
So prediction, right, for who's coming out of the East show. Obviously the 2 popular picks would be Bill O'Neill, Kyle Troop, right? Like those are the 2 people that you have to go for prediction. Obviously,
not for me.
I'm not going away from my guy.
Hold the phone a minute.
Okay, wait. I'm making my prediction. Listen.
All right.
Let me make my prediction. So I'm predicting Bill O'Neill, okay? Because look, like that's my guy, right? And
you don't want to get blocked. You're afraid to get blocked.
No, because I mean, look, like I'm a homer when it comes to Bill, okay? But look, I would love to see if Bill doesn't win. I would love to see Kyle Troop repeat, okay? Just because I think that's a great storyline, okay? Like if he can make 2 Players Championship top 5 shows, obviously he won last year.
Isn't he the guy that we all want on the show now?
Oh, I mean, of course, because he's.
Don't you want to see him bowl Belmo?
Dude, I love it. It's stuck, dude. Honestly, I mean, there's so many possibilities on great top 5 shows here, right? Like, just going through these. All right,
let's save that to the end. Let's save it. Do you agree with me though? That's what the fans want, right?
Oh yeah,
that's what I want.
100%.
I want Troop versus Belmo for this title more than I want to see anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get the current best bowler in the world and the guy who he took the throne from on the lanes at the same time, and let's have them bowl for $100,000 in a major title. That's what I want to see. But let me make a point here, Rob. I'll give you my prediction. The lefties are a problem here.
Okay. So Graham is a lefty. I know that. I don't know. Is Runk a lefty?
Brandon Runk is a lefty.
Ooh.
All right.
And then Dombrowski's a righty.
Dombrowski's a righty, right? Obviously, Troop, Bill, righties. Listen, I have to call it as I think it's going to go.
Okay. So who do you like, Foch or Runk?
I paid attention to the scores of this region more so than any other region. And Rob, at a couple points throughout the weekend, it was all lefties in the top 5.
Oh.
Okay. They were running them over, Rob. They were running them over.
So that new asymmetrical patterns, right, are favoring the lefties.
Listen, I also want to say this. Just a few weeks ago, I bowled next to Brandon Runk at a local tournament. He
Okay.
won. He won the tournament.
Yeah.
Bowled great. I mean, so good, in fact, that I didn't know who he was, and I actually went down and went to look at his name and find out his name. So I was like, wow, this guy is absolutely crushing him right now. I'm going to take Brandon Runk. I'm going to take Brandon Runk on this show because I think he's throwing it good, and the lefties had the advantage, and I think that he could be the guy who's the feel-good story of this show. Okay? I do.
I just text Bill. He actually blocked you already, so you're blocked from all social media. He just texted me.
Terrible.
He's watching right now. He said, by the way, Mike is banned
my
from
goodness.
all social media going forward.
Oh, my
okay, so fair point. So here's my other storyline here. Okay, obviously, Troop repeating, Bill staying away from COVID, right? That's my storyline. And the unknown knowns, okay? That's what I'm calling them. Because Grandin Fokker, Brandon Runk, and Patrick Jombowski are unknown knowns. Meaning,
I think you just butchered all three of those names as badly as possible. But
yeah. So the unknown knowns, which why this format is actually pretty cool, is because you get to see a lot of names and people that we don't normally get to see on TV, but they're knowns in the bowling world, right? Like Grandin Fock or Foch is a known, right, in the bowling world. You know
he's
who
won
he
a
is.
major. He's won a major.
Did he?
I mean, yeah.
Man, that's forgettable. Yeah, I don't remember that.
He also just switched to Brunswick, and I'll be honest, it almost had me saying, he's probably the favorite here, but I'm gonna go with Runk because, as I said, I think we're gonna see one of these feel good story guys come through and make the final show. Who was it last year? Wasn't there one or two guys who made the final five that were in this category that you're talking about, Rob?
He won the players, I guess.
You know?
Yeah, there's a few. I remember, God, what was his name? There's a few people that made the show that obviously were unknown knowns.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So,
it happens every year.
Listen,
my prediction is
Rob.
Runk.
Obviously, we're sweep the rack here. We ride with Bill O'Neill, so I'm betting on Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, the Weed Man, the Weed Man made an appearance.
Yeah, true. That's right, Chris Kelso. We had him on the show.
Don't ever.
He bowled great on the show. Michael Davidson. We had him on the show. He bowled great on the show. So yeah, I could see one of these guys getting through. All right?
Dude, guess what? Can't stop the Runk.
And you know what?
Can't stop the Runk. Can't stop.
With that said, facing Bill O'Neill or they're well, I mean, no disrespect to Patrick Dombrowski. Obviously, he's talented. He could make a run here too. But I think logic probably says, or the favorites probably say that Runk is likely to be facing Bill or Kyle. And that's an uphill battle. It's a tough
match. If that would now correct me if I'm wrong, but this probably is going to be his first match on TV.
I'm not sure. I don't know him well enough to say.
Regardless, let's just
does it matter? Does it matter even if it's the second or third time he's going to be?
No, because you're bowling. You can probably bowl against Bill or Kyle, and it's going to be your first match on TV and probably ever. And regardless of how good your shot is, you're bowling against a seasoned veteran. You're bowling against a Hall of Famer and Bill O'Neill and a Player of the Year at Kyle Troop. So, advantage goes to Bill or Kyle depending on, if they can get through Dombrowski.
Advantage on the look in this house goes to the lefties. And Rob, we both
I'll
know
take experience over that.
That means a lot. That means a lot. Okay.
All right. So let's go South region.
But let's be clear. The Corp will have the money bet on Bill O'Neill. Okay. Because that's who we ride with. My money.
Or Kyle, depending on if Kyle bowling Patrick Dombrowski, right? Like that.
Well, and also if Kyle does not have the Green IQ Tour with him.
Yeah, we don't want he's that. I'm betting against him.
Perhaps we can bet on him. All right.
Yeah.
South Regional. Here was the storyline to me, Rob. Tommy Jones just kicked everyone's ass.
Steroids. Okay? Check the guy for PEDs.
I mean, what was going on?
Urethane, Mike. I think he used the urethane. A purple wall.
Wild.
Hammer.
Wild.
But hey, let's talk a little bit. Norm Duke. Dude, the guy
unbelievable, bro.
He gets better as he's like fine wine, bro. The guy just gets better with age.
He's not better. Come on, Rob. He's not better. He's not
What
better.
do you mean?
But
He's making shows, dude. He's fucking
it's
guy's unbelievable.
it is absolutely remarkable what this dude is still doing.
Dude,
okay,
he's unreal.
I mean,
he's like a Terminator, bro. He's just
it's crazy. I got into a bowling argument with a league teammate of mine where my league teammate was basically trying to say like he doesn't care if he can score well while not throwing it impressively. He would rather throw it impressively but not score well. And I told him, like, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in bowling. Like, Norm Duke doesn't walk into a bowling alley and say, "Oh, I need to throw it like this guy." No. He says, "I'm Norm Duke, and I'm going to out-execute him and beat him that way." And that's what he does, right? Yeah, this is what I do, bro. I get into arguments. This is what I do, okay? What do you want?
Dude, it's so funny. Yeah,
but listen.
Yo, anyway, so let's talk about this region real quick.
Amazing.
So we gotta talk unknown knowns, because Toby Sambueno, who I'm a friend with, he went Saginaw Valley. He's a very good bowler. He's a regional player. He makes the show, and David Stouffer, who I'm also friends with, who bowls out in South Florida, who bowl. I saw him before he got his card. I believe he came out to the regionals a lot. He would bowl the high rollers. So these are some pretty good bowlers that have been around but haven't really made shows. And it'll be really interesting to see, guys like David Stouffer and Toby Sambueno and see how they, rise up to bowl against a guy like DJ Archer, who's been on TV. Imagine, dude, your first or second match on TV and you got to go through Norm Duke and Tommy Jones.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Win your region.
I don't see any of these guys making a run in this ladder. The title match.
You got to pick Tommy Jones here.
The title match is going to be Norm Duke and Tommy Jones. And I'm going to take Tommy Jones. I will probably have the house bet on Tommy Jones in that step ladder, because whatever the max bet is, I will have the max bet on Tommy Jones regardless of the odds, because he ran him over. I mean, he has to have ultimate confidence going into that show.
Yeah, but aren't they bowling in a different bowling center? Like, it's not even the same, like, anything they're bowling, right?
They are, but same patterns. No, same patterns that they bowled on. So
I don't know. Smart depends what the odds are, but smart money might go on Norm Duke if his odds are like pretty good. You know what I mean?
True.
Okay. Anyway, so let's talk Midwest region, because this is one of the strongest.
I was going to say, is this the toughest ladder?
It's between this and the Southwest region are the two toughest ladders, in my opinion. Okay. So Midwest region, number 5, Bailey Maverick, new name, the Maverick. Okay, where's the goose, Mike?
Everybody was so hyped. First show in his first PBA tournament. I mean, I don't know.
That's pretty awesome.
It's awesome. It is. But I'm
Maverick.
I'm not so shocked by that anymore.
No,
like,
these kids
I'm really
are
not. I mean, the information is out there. Like, these kids have been bowling on this stuff for years.
Dude, people are saying in the chat room, our fans are the smartest fans in bowling, Mike. This is a dual pattern, and Norm Duke is great dual pattern. So is Bill O'Neill. Dual patterns, Mike. You got to go with these technicians, these guys that they make moves.
It becomes
a great point. It's a great point.
It is a great point, Chris. Excellent.
So let's talk Midwest region. Bailey Maverick, the Maverick. Where's the goose, Mike? Number 4, Rookie of the Year, Matt Russo. Number 3, now, Mike, top 3. It's like murderers row right here. EJ Tackett, AJ Johnson, Sean Rash.
Again, you want to talk? Good luck to those guys in 4th and 5th.
I know.
Really.
I know.
Good luck to those guys. Like Matt Russo, hell of a bowler, Rookie of the Year. Good luck. Maverick Bailey, nice run. Great. Throws it great from what I saw. Good luck, man. I mean, Tackett, Johnson, Rash. And again, Sean Rash, very, very dominant, throwing it well. So
here's Mike.
I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Rash here. I'm going to take the top seed.
I'm taking Rash.
I'm going to ride.
I'm taking Rash. I'm taking Rash too.
Kyle with a comment in the chat that AJ might break through. That wouldn't surprise me either, Kyle. But I'll be honest, man, and I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm almost at the point where until that happens, I have to see it before I'm going to ride with him on that.
So, but here's my other storyline.
Number of opportunities that haven't gone his way. And I would like to see him break through. Friend of the show, he's been on here numerous times, but at the same time, he hasn't been able to break through. And this is another opportunity. But in terms of betting and in terms of what I think will happen, right? I think Rash is taking this down. He's throwing it great. He's also throwing Storm and 900 Global. And Rob, we talked a couple of weeks about guys switching companies and it not having all that much of an effect. If there's one person I can point to over the last couple of years that I think it has had a really positive impact on, it's probably him.
Sean Rash.
So, yeah.
But we're talking AJ Johnson breakthrough. But here's the thing that we're forgetting, and this is where like I think EJ Tackett hasn't really earned anybody. Like, I don't say anybody, but really hasn't earned that like respect of him being able to perform on TV, Mike. We're talking EJ Tackett. I mean, this kid is always in a top 5 for player of the year, top 10 voting. And I swear, Mike, like he's always on TV and he's always close, but he always feels like he just can't get through. So like, that's my storyline here. Can EJ Tackett break through and actually come up with a solid performance, a consistent performance from start to finish? Because that's EJ's downfall is he'll have a good game and then the next game he'll bowl bad and he'll lose. And yeah, that's kind of one of the storylines that I'm looking for. I'm also looking for an AJ Johnson Rash final. Mike, that would be a hype final. Those are two guys that love to show emotion, bowling to get onto a players. To me, that would be the most entertaining final out of this in this region. AJ versus Rash.
Yeah, 10-pin life in the chat making the same point that the Rash Johnson final would be great. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
Yo, shout to 10-pin life too. Who are you, bro? Who are you, bro?
Came out of nowhere, man.
All of a sudden, like bro starts a Twitter like a month ago, and then he's at the PBA Players Championship, like down in the settee area, like basically in the hip pocket of the players with videos and all this, interviewing people, putting podcast interviews out
better than
already.
Flo,
I'm
Mike.
like, yo, who is this guy? He's like a one-man media machine. Who is this? 10-pin life. Reach out, son. What's good? Introduce yourself. Come out of the shadows. Come on. This is Sweep the Rack, but we put our pictures on our logo over here. So let us know what's good, man. You know what I'm saying?
We're handsome guys, Mike.
10-pin life. Grab a rosin bag, dog. You know what I'm saying? So okay. Rob, you're being told to check your DMs, Rob.
Dude, I know. I'm scared.
To check your DMs.
I'm scared to check my DMs.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, let me see what's going. Oh no.
I'm just gonna mention it while someone's here. I'm gonna max bet on Sean Rash on this show. So
yeah, dude. I'm not gonna say what Rash set up.
All right. Fair enough. Not everything is.
It's something maybe. It's something maybe we'll chat about next week, depending on how Foch bowls.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on. Yes, I'm pressing the all in button, Sean. Let's go. Southwest region. Another Rob stacked top 5 here.
This could be the show of, to me, like it's either going to be the Midwest show or Southwest show. Okay, Kyle Sherman, Brad Miller, Frankie Lavoie, Arturo Quintero, Dom Barrett. Okay, first, obviously, the biggest storyline here. Everybody's talking about Brad versus Kyle, YouTube channel. That'd be like me bowling you on TV, Mike, even though we would know like where the money would all go on, right? But Brad versus Kyle is funny because that might be a little bit of an entertaining match because obviously there's not going to be a whole lot of friendly. They're going to be bowling against each other. Like there isn't any. Going to be any friendly stuff going on there, right?
About that.
You think they're going to be all buddy?
Sat fest, yeah. It's going to be, good shot, man. Yeah, give me a hug. Good luck.
Selfies, selfies. Take a losing selfie.
Listen, it's cool. Shout to them. It's cool. Glad to see Kyle Sherman making a run again. He ran a rough season last season. Brad Miller was hot, last season in general, especially towards the end.
I like Frankie.
Really well.
I'm picking Frankie, Mike. I can't bet against Frankie.
You're taking Frankie here. Listen. Obviously the top seeds here have a huge advantage. And where's Dom Barrett been?
I think switching companies. I
Okay.
think when he switched companies hurt him. We talk about people getting better when they switch companies. I think when Dom Barrett moved away from Storm, it affected him. But that's just my opinion, right? Because we haven't seen him a whole lot, right?
Well, he's back. He's back here. He's in the number 1 seed, and
Great bowler, man.
this
Great
is
bowler.
this
That
is
kid.
somebody
That
who
kid's
just
great
a few
bowler.
years ago I felt like he was someone that was becoming a player that was going to be every year in the mix for Player of the Year type player.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't turned out that way, but he's back here, right? I find that very interesting. I'm going to ride with Dom here, but I agree with you, Rob, that this is likely a Frankie Dom final here. Okay. It's likely a Frankie Dom final, and I'm going to ride with Dom here just because, this is an opportunity he hasn't had in a minute, Rob. He hasn't
Okay.
been in this position in quite some time, and I expect him to capitalize on it here.
So here's how I see this going. I think Brad Miller's going to beat Kyle Sherman and then lose to Frankie. Frankie's going to beat Arturo, and then it's going to be between Frankie and Dom. And I'll take Frankie over Dom in the finals. I just think Frankie's he's just, I don't know, depending on what the late conditions are, obviously. And let's talk about the known unknown of Arturo Quintero. Guy has been bowling, been around since I've been bowling the high rollers. I knew Arturo. I bowled against him, in the high rollers. Great guy, but good to see Arturo make his show. The kid's been bowling for way too long. The kid bowls everything across the whole world. He's like a world traveler.
You call everybody
So,
a kid. Some of these people are like probably in their mid-30s or 40s, like us.
He's a good kid, Mike. It's a Brooklyn thing. He's a good kid, Mike.
Chris in the chat making another astute observation here. It was a wild finish in that region. Kevin Williams leaving a stone 8-pin, I believe, when he needed a strike to miss by 2 sticks, Rob. 28 games and you missed by 2 sticks. Okay. He had a little outburst when he left it. Totally understandable. It was nothing crazy. It was actually good to see that emotion from people. But
but it's Tony, like Dom won the US Open in 18 after switching companies. I know, but I had really high expectations for Dom Barrett. Like I had expectations of him being that guy that's on, closer on like a lot of shows and making run for Player of the Year. So there's none against Dom. I just had high expectations for him, and I think he's been a little bit, struggling. Yo, Tokyo, man. Konnichiwa. What's up?
Konnichiwa, homie. What's good?
Up, man? That's awesome, dude. Tokyo Drift, man. Most underrated Fast and the Furious movie of them all. All
right, last one, Rob.
West Region. Cortez. I don't want to say his last name wrong. Schneck. Cortez Schneck. Great kid, good bowler. Good to see him make a show. Unknown known. And how about the next name, Mike? The known. The return of Jason Belmonte. My stock is looking great right now, ain't it, Mike? Your stock is. My Belmo stock is going through the roof, man. Belmo making a show.
This is an accomplishment of the substance that makes Belmonte's stock go up.
No, it's just the first show.
Is that really what you're suggesting here, Rob?
No, it's just the first show.
Even if he were to win this show, I don't think his stock would go up.
It's just a little taste of what we're going to get this year with Belmonte. Trust me.
All right.
We're going to see him in a lot of shows.
I play around. I know. Let's be honest, right? So this was probably the story of the weekend. To me, you said Brad and Kyle were the story of the weekend.
No, I didn't say that was a story of the week. I said that was a good story, but
the story of the weekend was Belmo.
Is Belmo coming? Is
Belmo made it? Belmo's back.
Belmo's back.
He was making a statement. He was pretty much in the top 5 almost the entire weekend. Every time I looked in the standings, he was there.
Belmo's back.
He's on the show. People's knees are going to be shaken because they know that he's there to win. He's not going to be in the booth commentating this year. He's going to be out on the lanes bowling, and we know that he wants it. We know that. So
let's break down this show real quick, because could you imagine being Cortez, who's a younger up and coming bowler, and you have to bowl Belmo pretty much on one of your first shows, and then if Belmo wins, then Wesley Lowe, who's been on a couple shows, he's an ex guest of ours, great kid. I know Wesley from bowling out of Southern California. You get to bowl Belmo. A storyline here that's not getting talked about is Jake Peters. Dude, Jake Peters is hot right now. Like, Jake Peters is focused. He's dedicated. And yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be an under the radar great show from the West region, because then you got Buttriff waiting in the wings as leading. So do we see a Belmo Buttriff rematch? Right. I think that's a good storyline too, because Buttriff and Belmo went at it a lot in a couple years ago. Remember when Buttriff was making that run for Player of the Year? So I think there's a lot of under the radar storylines here. We'll love to see Wesley Lowe break out here, because I feel like he's great for the PBA Tour and great for the future. But Jake Peters is under the radar. Like, dude, he's scrappy, bro. Like,
I don't know if he's under the radar. He's a titleist. He's a PBA titleist, and he's, as you said, he's been bowling really good lately. And you know what? Shout to him. He suffered a tremendous loss in his life. And from what I've read, he's kind of rededicated himself to bowling in a way. And listen, I'm riding with Jake Peters here. You know, I want to pick Buttriff, Rob. I can't, though. You know why? Because he always does some dumb shit on the show. He always does some dumb shit. It's either a missed 7-pin or a missed spare, or he throws some dumb shot that's out the window that costs him the game by a few sticks. It's like, to me, putting money on Jacob Buttriff is like betting on the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy as their coach. Like, it's just something that I can't do. Like,
he's a Cowboys fan too.
I cannot have the confidence that he's going to close the deal. Okay, so I think Jake Peters has fate riding on his side here. He's bowling really good. He's a Wichita State guy, so you know that the technical end of things and the mental end of things are likely there. He's already won a title, so he's been in a position like this before. And you know what? I'm going to ride with Jake Peters on this show. I don't see Belmo dominating to the point of winning this. I see him winning a match, but I think Jake Peters is in it to win it here.
No, Belmo's winning. Belmo is winning. To me, there is no doubt in my mind Belmo wins this show. People are clamoring, Mike, in the chat room for a Belmo Rash final. People are still wanting to see that rivalry. People will never let that rivalry die, dude. It's like this bowling rivalry that the PBA wants to like sweep under the rug, but like everybody still knows that they just don't like each other and they want to see it. And it's entertaining for the fans, Mike. And I like it. And I want to see it too, Mike. Could you imagine Rash bowling Belmo for the major and $250,000? Mike, tell me that you wouldn't be on your edge of your seat watching that match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but 10-pin life saying Belmo's going to trash the pair and run the ladder, but that makes no sense. It makes no sense because there's
lefties dude, you got to do the win.
So, like, I don't know
backup
about
balls.
That. Rob,
Arnie
listen,
Goldman backup balls.
In response to your question, if you told me. I don't understand. What's the 100,000?
Belmo trashes pairs and then runs the ladder. He's like 100,000%. That's how I read it.
Is that what he means? I don't know. We need to clarify there, Stu. Nice bowling, by the way, Stu. Stu had a very good performance last week. Very nice bowling, man.
Oh,
it's 100K. Yeah, okay.
They took the extra money and they're gonna put it into the streaming service, Mike.
Rob, to answer your question, if you gave me the following right now, if you gave me, and remember, the 5 guys that make it are going to bowl like a qualifying round to decide the seeding.
Okay, it's 100,000. Right? Okay, I made a mistake. All right.
Listen, if you're new here, this is what we do. Okay, we get things wrong. All right, so we speculate and we get things wrong. All right.
Sorry, so I was still living in 2021.
We're fans. We're not media people. If you want media stuff, go to Jeff Rickles. Okay, you can go see him. All right. So, good bowling, Stu. Like I said,
urethane. He's getting hot with the
Rob,
urethane.
If you gave me right now Troop in the number 1 spot, Belmo in the number 2 spot, Rash in the number 3 spot, I'll be honest with you, I don't care who else is on the show. Give me that. Give me that. And I don't care who the
Okay.
other two guys are. It doesn't really matter to me because that's what I want to see.
Okay, so yeah, like Trooper O'Neal, right? Like either one of those guys like to see. Throw me a Tommy or a Norm Duke, right, on the show. Wait, what?
They're saying you you butcher everything, names and prize funds.
Hey, Patrick D's, D's got him.
Oh, that was a terrible comeback. All right, let's go. Keep it moving.
I like to see Tommy or either Tommy, Norm, O'Neal or Troop do Rash AJ, right? Like, I mean, and now we're, Southwest region, that's to me a wild card, right? Like Brad Miller, Kyle, Frankie. I don't mind anybody really comes out of that region. And Belmo.
As a fan, Stu, I gotta say, as a fan, I do. I want to see Kyle versus Belmo for this title, and I would love to have Rash involved in that.
Dude, Rash wants to be 1 seed. Now, Rash, we don't want you as number 1 seed. I want you as like 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah,
so
I need Kyle as the number 1 seed because it guarantees that whoever wins is going to take on the guy who's on the top right now. You see, so sorry, but that's just
and they're bowling for 100K, Mike. In case anybody didn't know that 100,000.
Still a lot of change, Rob. Still a lot of change. Still,
and it's a major
payday for these guys,
and it's a great start to like the season, like to get off on a major and 100,000. Mike, your swing is a little bit looser when you win a major and 100K the first tournament of the season.
For sure. Robert in the chat commenting on Stu's truck. If you guys didn't see it, he was driving a wrapped truck. It was like a bowling wrapped truck. Over the weekend. Turns out it's actually, I hit him up. I was like, yo, that truck is dope, son. And he was like, yo, it's a loaner from the car dealership. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, you should get that done to yours, but he's not down with it. But yeah, it was very nice too. So, all right, Rob, that kind of gives the people our preview of these shows this weekend. I can't wait. Football's on, bowling's on. I got a bowling tournament that I'm going to on Sunday. Man, I might need to take Monday off just to enjoy all this action, honestly.
I know. What time do the Eagles play this weekend? Hey, I'm a Jet fan, so
all right, bring up the show schedule. Shut the hell up and bring up the show schedule. All
right. So just so the fans know and they can tune in, and we could actually do the marketing for the PBA and what times their shows start, because God forbid they actually put this on their social media.
Yeah, Bob, I'll be at Bristol on Sunday. Yeah, I'll be at Tax Tournament Bristol on Sunday.
It's tough.
I'm a little upset at Greg because it's a 1:30 start time on a Sunday with football at 3:00, and it's a 6-gamer. So it's likely that I'm missing the first half of that first football game. And then I gotta drive home. It's not that far of a drive, so it's not that bad. But like, I'm a little upset at Greg for scheduling this tournament that coincides not only with bowling being on, but also with football being on. But Saturday's the main day for me. Bill's show is on Saturday. Football's on Saturday.
Dude, the one thing, trust me, the one thing I learned about being a bowler is that tournament directors give zero fucks about when football is on. They don't, unless it's Super Bowl, they don't really care about football playoffs. Anyway, so real quick, I'm going to run through the schedule. All telecasts are on FS1, so don't go to Real Fox this weekend. January 22nd, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, East Region. January 22nd, following that, 6 p.m., South Regions. Mike, you're getting back-to-back step ladders.
Oh, my God. Rob, I'm so hyped. Last weekend, I was so hyped for. Had football both days. Bowling was on flow. Even though it's ended up sucking. I had Monday off. It was wonderful, okay? I'm just as hyped for this weekend. Yo,
Sunday,
Robert,
let me finish the schedule,
Mike. Spread that I'm going to have for Saturday, I'll send out pictures on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter.
I'm sure everybody wants to see that.
It's going to be serious, okay?
Yeah, you're gonna need to go on the treadmill after this weekend, all the snacks and shit you're gonna be eating. So Sunday, January 23rd, 4 p.m. Eastern, Midwest region. So it starts 4 p.m. just like Saturday. So 4 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern. So you have 4 shows, Saturday, Sunday. Mike, we're having 4 total step ladders in 2 days. And then guess what? We get Monday night bowling. Are you ready for some bowling? Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So 7 p.m. Eastern, we get the West region. And then that concludes it for the final show, the 29th. So that's a Saturday night, Mike, the 29th, do you know? Dude, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we will be live.
That's what I'm saying.
We will be live Saturday night.
Saturday night. Get lit with
Commentary.
us, son. Let's go. Spread. Yes. Get lit with us. Bring whatever you got. Okay.
Saturday night, I'll have maybe a frosty beverage.
All right. Put 5 on it and roll and show up. And
I might have some White Claw, okay? Mike. You know, some White Claw with me. I have some leftovers. Yeah, I have some leftovers.
So Patrick wants to know about the spread. What am I going to do for Saturday? I'll be honest, I haven't given it all that much thought.
We don't want to hear about the spread. We're already in overtime.
But I'm probably going to go. Local chicken wings, local buffalo wings. Good chicken wing spot. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what the show is, Mike. This is a crazy weekend of bowling, and we're here for it.
You know what what this weekend reminds me of? It reminds me of the old World Series shows that used to be on ESPN when you could go on ESPN Plus and you could watch the shows live while they were taping them, and it would just be back to back to back shows over 2 days. And I was like, oh man, it was bowling heaven to me. So I can't wait.
Here's the thing is, for this weekend, if you don't follow us on Twitter at Sweep the Rack, follow us, because I plan on doing some live tweeting, and I'll tweet during the shows and maybe make some funny jokes, maybe bowling analysis of what I think the lanes are doing, our picks. So follow us on Twitter. I'll be glued to the Twitter for most of the shows. I'm sure we'll have some funny commentary. I'm sure we'll have some funny back and forths on Twitter, which we normally do. So if you don't follow us, do it. If you don't have a Twitter account, sign up and just follow us. You don't got to do anything else.
Scott, we're not going live for these shows. We're going live for the final show.
The final show
on the
final 5 Saturday night, which would be a Saturday night, Mike. Us streaming for a major at $100,000 for first place.
I feel you, Saturday night.
$100,000.
All right, Rob, let's give the people what they want. You want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go, because my worst of the week is me picking on Coley. And I'll probably get a chance, or any chance I get, to pick on Coley or Tim Buck to do my worst of the week. And Brian Rucker, there's gonna be no Trulies at our party. There might be White Claw. So there was a tweet that a lady by the name of Sarah Fuller posted. And this was the tweet. And the reason why I picked this from worst of the week is because Coley liked this tweet. And it just completely made me angry to a certain point. She tweeted, "I'm not a gambler, but as someone who's getting their MBA in sports entertainment management, why don't more sports betting apps have women's sports? That's a completely untapped market. Would help drive fan engagement as well. At the very least, make it an option for people." Sarah Fuller, I agree 100% completely with your sentiment on women's sports being betting. And I agree completely with everything you say about it's an untapped market and would help drive fan engagement. Mike, does this sound familiar? It does, because this is exactly what we've been talking about with bowling for the past fucking 2.5 years. And Coley Edison liked this tweet. You liked this tweet, but you didn't even want to even invest time or energy or anything into actually putting bowling on a legit betting platform like a DraftKings and MGM Sports, the hundreds of other sports betting apps that you could legally bet now across the country. But you like this because it has to do with women's sports, but you couldn't give 2 fucks about putting bowling on an actual betting app that people would actually, drive fan engagement and drive more, eyes to the sport of bowling. So you know what, Coley? I'm glad you left. Good riddance. I hope you enjoy the WNBA. Hopefully we can get somebody, the CEO of the PBA, who actually knows what they're doing and could actually get some shit done. Mike, that's my worst of the week. Mic drop.
Tell him why you mad, son.
It grinds my gears. It grinds my gears, Mike.
All right, here's my worst of the week. I'm going a little bit of a different direction, but everybody who listens to this podcast regularly will appreciate this from my perspective anyway. My worst of the week is from the Hammer Bowling message boards this week, and it was posted by a Daniel Burt.
Congrats, Daniel Burt.
Daniel, congratulations. You won worst of the week here. Here's his post. I think someone sent this to me as well. I got to look up who sent this to me, but shout to whoever sent this to me. All right, everyone. I'm a little disheartened after bowling in a tournament yesterday. You all know where this is going, don't you? You all know where this is going. I have the new Black Widow Ghost, and in League, I've improved my average by 10 pins in the last 4 weeks throwing it. But at this tournament, I could not get this ball to hook for anything. I moved as far left as I could, and the ball literally sailed into the 6-10 pin as if I was throwing my plastic.
Wait, who's moving left? The ball wasn't hooking, so he kept moving left.
A lady at the tournament said the oil from gutter to gutter. So maybe that ball just wasn't the right choice for the lane conditions. But man, I left a little disheartened after that.
Keep moving left, keep moving left. The ball's definitely
where do you want me to start, right? Oh yeah, like total lack of bowling knowledge in this post, right? Okay, that's that.
Complete
We can start there.
week.
We could also start with
Sherry.
Sherry. Yo, Sherry's in the chat hammering people. Sherry, you're savage. You're savage, girl. Damn.
We didn't say it.
Damn. So we could start there, right? We could also we could comment on the fact that they bought the new ball and their average went up 10 pins in 4 weeks, right? I mean, always. Obviously, the reason I highlighted this post is because this is where we're at with bowling, folks. This is where we're at. You know, I mean, the lack of knowledge of the two different sides of the game is so bad that when people are bowling on something, they don't even know that they're bowling on it. So, Daniel Burt, you know, not to pick on you, buddy. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but you know, that post deserved worst of the week. I'm sorry. So, congratulations, Daniel. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Rob, hit him with it, brother. Final thoughts, Rob. It's been a challenging week for me bowling already. I just want this week to get to Friday and get the week over so I can enjoy Saturday, honestly.
Mike, bowling's back.
Bowling's
back.
Betting on bowling.
Bowling's back. I'm excited for this season.
Betting's back. Bowling's back. Bill is back.
Belmo's back.
Okay.
Rash is not even back. Rash is still going. Kyle is still going. They're not even back. They never left, Mike.
Yeah.
They never left.
So
it's going to be a good
great
couple
weekend.
Days of bowling.
It's going to be a great weekend for bowling. As Rob said.
Oh, that's something that we didn't talk about, but we're already in overtime, so we're going to save this. We're going to save the PBA League talk for another time when there's too much Players Championship talk
John,
this week.
A comment on that real quick. In order for us to figure out who got dropped, we literally have to go over all the old rosters and then go over the announcements of who was kept, and we won't really have time to do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous to me that they announce who gets kept and not who gets dropped. Like, I'd like to hear who gets dropped because then you'll also know, well, here are the guys that are going back into the draft pool for last year. But, John, give us a little bit. We'll do our research on that, and we'll come back to it.
My brother comes out of left field with the comment. You know who's not back? Coley. Yeah.
Coley's not back.
Thank God she's not back. You know,
okay.
I'm sure. So,
as Rob was saying earlier, if you don't follow us on
back.
social media, at Sweep the Rack, Rob is at Brooklyn Rob 11. I'm at the 215th. You should definitely give us a follow on there if you haven't already. We'll be in rare form on Saturday. That's for sure. We'll be in rare form on Saturday, tweeting. I'm sure Sunday as well. I'll probably do some live tweeting from my tournament that I'm bowling. I'm bowling the New Jersey Sport Bowling event. Greg Tack's running. So I'll do some live tweeting from there as I hack it up. And, Rob, I enjoyed the show this week, bro.
Yeah, it's a good
It's
one.
nice.
We had a
It's
lot to
nice
talk
have,
about.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about. It's nice to have bowling back to talk about. Oh, Rob, also Stu Williams interview. Stu Williams interview we're going to be
Right.
dropping this week. We completely forgot to mention that earlier. We skipped over that. You guys should watch out for that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the subscribe button, and you'll see that drop. We have a good interview with Stu that we're going to release this week.
Yeah, I'll drop it Saturday morning. Why do we get dropped Saturday morning?
Definitely we got into some topics about
This season.
Yeah, the season and I would say more insider type topics that we really wouldn't get into here in a regular show. So it was a great interview. Shout to Stu for coming and spending some time with us. We always appreciate it when he's willing to do that. Rob, that's it. You got anything else?
I'm good, man. Let's go. Let's get the weekend going so we can get some bowling on TV, some live bowling.
I'm ready to get this week done. Yo, folks in the chat, thank you for the support. Thank you for joining us. It's always fun to have you guys.
Thanks, Rob. Man, appreciate it.
We had a lot of people popping in and out tonight, so we greatly appreciate it. But listen, do us a favor, 2 favors. Hit the subscribe button and spread the word. Let people know. Get your friends tuning in. We'd love to grow this podcast. Give us a shout. Rob, appreciate it as always, homie. Have a good week, and I'll catch up with you over the weekend.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.